Welcome again. So at this point we have our HTML setup. It is time to start our page. So there are a few things I would like us to fix first. So first of all, we forgot the footer, which contained the copyright information here, and that is outside the main. So let's say I'll put that in the footer tag, and then I'll create a paragraph, and then I'll write how did you write it? So 2024, this is going to be generated automatically. Then ampersand copyright sign, and then we are going to write copyrighted PBN. So copyright PHP broadcasting network, and then all rights reserved. So that's it. We have the footer. The next thing I would like us to take care of is to have a font. And if we look at how we prototyped here, it looks cool the way we have this font written. I don't think we'll get the exact font because I don't know what font was used here, but we'll go to Google Fonts and try to get the font. So the other thing too I would like to do, I wanted to use these same colors I'm having here. They look geeky. Yes, they look geeky. So I think we could try to conserve them. So I want to pick the colors from this design, and here they are. So before we go ahead with the colors, let me get the fonts from Google. So we look through Google Font and see if you can get a font that looks like what we have. So we can take, let me try the font called Baloo. So yes, this font here, you might think it writes in some foreign languages, but if you type, let's say, welcome to PHP, so it will now give you how it will look like if you write in English. So I think this is not bad. We could try it so that we gain time. So I will use this one. Yes, well, let's go ahead with this guy here. So I'll click on it, then pick some variations. I'll pick the 500. It looks, let's go from the, let's take this one, 400. So I think I would also like to add another font. So I already have Roboto here. Probably let me use Roboto, but I don't want the italic. I just want the light 100 because I had that in my card, so in my previous use. So I have two fonts now. So Baloo 400 and then Roboto 300. So the reason I'm using these two fonts is I want to use the Baloo for the titles, and then the normal font, which is the body font, with the Roboto, which is okay. So with that done, I can now pick the import link here and take it to my CSS file. Right at the beginning somewhere, I'll place this font. So I would also like to bring the way we use the font. So it is said if you want to use these two fonts, we can just use this. So let me copy. So I'll bring it here and paste, but this time I'm going to comment this out because this is not where we are using it. So we will start here. So we start from the body. The body, we said we are going to use the Roboto, so we are going to do font family. Start from that font family Roboto. So wherever we have our titles, like heading 1, so heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and heading 6, we are going to use this font. So basically that's the point here. So if we refresh our website by now, we should see some changes. Great. So we can see the title is now having the Baloo font, and then the body text is having the Roboto font, which is great. All right, so the next thing is to bring our colors. So we need the colors for the body. So for the body, it has the darker black. So let me pick it. So we have our color palette. So I actually lost it and I have to redo again. So this color is the actual background. So we can pick it here. So that's 00 is actual black. So we can go ahead, background color hash 00000, and then the color of the container, which is the main. So this guy is 303439. So I'm going to say main background color hash 303 yes 439. So also we can see that the text is having the same color as these lines. These two does not give us the chance to inspect the colors very well. So let me try again. Okay, it picked the color here this time around. So 31353A 313. So that's color for the text. 313 53A. Great. So I would like the text to have this color, and then we'll also use this color for the edges, for the borders. So once that's done, let me look at what we have. Great. So here I can see my text. So I set the background color. This one should go. This one should go. That's the initial color we set, and we have this. So the color should be this. Yes. So the text, I guess we should make the text fully white. So if I do this, great. So we'll have the text as white. So once that's done, the next thing I would like to do is to create what we call a container as well. So I'll create a container. So this will allow us to contain the website in the middle, as you could see it right in the prototype, like this. So I'm going to say on the small devices, the maximum width should be, let's say, 95% of the screen, and then the margin, I'm making it 0 on top and at the bottom, and at the left and right I'm going to make it automatic so that it centers it. So I will add a media query, media, and then that media query will have, I don't know if it will suggest something for me, media. All right, nothing. So the media for max width is equals to, that's for the big screen, so let's say 768 pixels. So from 768 pixels, that's tablets going, that's desktops. So I want the max width to be something like, let's say, 70% of the screen, and this margin will still apply. So we don't need to modify that, and let's go. So nothing happens, of course, because I didn't use the container class. So I now have to apply it here on the main tag, so it contains our content. So if I reload, nothing happened. So what happened? What is the reason? It seems I didn't save the CSS file. Great. Okay, this seems too huge. I want it to be centered. So let me go ahead. and check that out. So I set maximum width. So it seems my media query is not working. All right, so I've rewritten the container. So I was making some mistakes. So that's it. So now if we preview our website, we should have it contained like this. And I still feel like this is still too wide on the large screens. So on the small devices, I think it's okay. And yes, we have the viewport set. So I would like to reduce it on the small devices. Instead of 70, let me make it 50%. And also I would like to add so at the main element, I will add some padding, which is padding of, let's say, 2 rem, to give it enough space, enough inner space. And also when we look at our prototype, it seems there's some margin on top and around, so we could also add some margin of, let's say, 4 rem. And let's see what we have. So the margin top and bottom is not working because we've cancelled it through the container. So it's probably here we should be able to make that happen. So we add some margin, but I'm still not okay with that, because if you go on small devices, it might not behave right. So as I was saying, so you can see here, I wouldn't want this space to be there on small devices. So what can we do now? So okay, so we can say on small devices 0, and then on big devices it should be this. So that will give us this and some on small devices, and then once we go on large devices it will be this with the margin. So that's cool. So once we have that set, let's go ahead. I think there's also some border. We could also add some border to it, to the main element. So we go to main, border, I think it's like 2 pixels, solid, and then remember to use the same color as we use here. So we use white. So solid hash FFFFF. So if we reload, yes, we have something like that. So, and I'm thinking maybe we should round the border. So border radius. So let's give it some 17 pixels and see. Great. So this looks okay. So once we have that, so this is actually taking us long because this is going to be the same stars that are going to be used on the remaining pages. So on other pages it is going to be faster. So once we have the main set like this, the next thing is to work on the header. And then I would also like to do something. Let me take the container up there. So I would also like to apply a star to every element. We want the box sizing, our border box sizing, yes, box sizing to be border box. So because of that, you could see that the CSS has adjusted our page, and this actually caused me to adjust the size of our main element container. And this is a lot, so probably 60. We cannot jump from 50 to 70. So yes, something like that. This makes sense. So the next thing is I would like to work on the header. So we go on the header, and then we look at what we have in the header. So we have a heading 1 and a paragraph. So the heading 1, there's no need to style the font again. The font styling is already made, but we can adjust the font size. So font size, let's say we make it 3 rem. All right, I would like to increase it a little bit, let's say 4, and reload. Yes, so, and it seems it is occupying some space around it, so I will cancel all the margins and paddings around it. 0. Great. And I would like it to be centered, so we first of all center anything that is in the header tag. Text align center. Great. So we'll now adjust the paragraph right beneath it to shift it a little bit up. So we take the paragraph under it. So, and we say the paragraph to the margins and paddings, we say 0. So it seems I didn't get anything. So, and I'm just noticing I'm doing something here, which is actually like writing SAS. So it should come out, and I have to indicate like this. So I'm surprised it worked for the header, but not for the paragraph. Okay, so if you do that, you still get the same thing. So let me inspect what is actually occupying this space. So I can see that the heading one is still crossing that, although we cancel the margin and the padding. So it seems the problem might be coming from the actual font. So I can see that by reducing the font size, that margin reduces. So it actually a problem from the font itself, which is to occupy some kind of space. Yes, some kind of space. So I think we can just leave it as it is for now. So once that's done, I can also add a border bottom to the header, border bottom, and it should have 2 pixels like we did for the remaining part, for the main. And then the color for that border is going to be FFFFFF, the white. All right, so if we refresh, we should have it. So this now also invites us to fix the the padding for the header. So I think I'm still not happy with this guy. The margins worked. So what if I make it negative? Yes, I think this trick works. Margin to negative 20. Yes, margin to negative 20. So that's the heading. I think particularly I'm interested in the margin bottom, so I shouldn't affect this negative on all sides. Great. Now the header needs to have some padding bottom as well. Padding bottom, and that we can make it to 1 rem. Okay, so this seems like we are getting somewhere. So let's compare that to our prototype so far. I think the space here is little, so we can add the space. Let's make it 2. So once we have that, we can move on to the article style, and this is important. And I think before that we need to get an image to make it happen. So let's go ahead and find some image. So I'll go on Lance course and just pick any image. So let's pick this guy. So we open link in copy link address, and then I'll paste it somewhere here. That's link address rather, not the image. So I would like to get the actual image. So create a folder for images. So let me go to new and say images. Now I'll drag the image inside. This will allow us to organize our images. So now I can go back to my code. Right here I am going to say /images/ what was the name, article.aviv. I don't know why I got that, not a PNG image. So we can now reload and see what we have. Okay, the image is in. So this is a behavior you would usually meet where the image is so large that it crosses everything. So one way of solving this issue is by declaring a class for images. So img tag, and say that max width of any image should be 100% of its container, and then the height should also be automatic. No, we'll make it rather the max height at 100% as well. 100%. So it shouldn't go beyond that. So now if I refresh, it will stay in the container, and this is great. So I would like this image, and this makes sense. It looks like an image for an article, right? So next is to adjust that article content. So here we'll make a call to our CSS flex box. So we'll call the article element. So this article element, since we are going to have more article elements, so it's better we target it well. So we have to be like class home, or we say recent articles. So in recent articles we can have article, so that's, we know it is at the home page. So we can go ahead and say recent articles, then the article tag, the display should be flex. We justify the content. I'll make it flex start. The align items at flex start as well, so that even if the text is bigger than the image, the text should drop down and the image should be hanging up, right? So we can see it is aligning. So at this point it means we also have to star our image. So we say article image. I could also say, let's say I force the width. So I could say max width should be, let's say 120 pixels. Great. So this brings us to something. Let me make it 200. Okay, so this looks like great. Okay, so I'm still not satisfied, so let me go ahead for the, let me see that. Okay, so the heading one inside the article. So the heading one inside the article, heading one, margin 0, padding 0, so recent articles, article, heading 1, color red, I think rather I have to use article wrapper, article wrapper. So this is not H1, it's actually H2. It's surprising. So H2. Okay. So we'll increase the font size a bit. Let's make it 1.5, right? Okay. So once we have that, so for the image, so one thing I would like to have here is I would like to add a flex wrap. Because of small devices, so if you go on my small devices, it wraps, and then on small devices, we would like the image to have 100% width like this. So this style will only apply to large devices. So it means we have to bring the same condition we had for the container right here. So here, and bring it like this. So for the small devices, the image should be full, and here I'm realizing that we might need to add a border bottom a margin bottom for the header, so that it separates itself. Yes, let's do that to the header for now. So we give it a padding button, so let's say margin button. Now we also say to rem. Yes, so we get the article separated. Okay, so next thing is I would like to work on this image and the space around here. And also I am feeling like, okay, this is the same problem we have with our font, because it kind of gives this default spaces here. So let me just space them a bit. So image, I could give a margin, a right margin. So when we are on a desktop or a tablet, margin right, margin right. Let's say make it 1 gram. Great, so something like that. And also I would like to give some border to the image, border radius, so that it looks spacious. So we'll give it, let's say 7 pixels, not too much. Great. And then I would like to do something to separate the article. So if I look at the prototype, it doesn't seem to have any particular thing to create the difference between the articles except the space in between them. So it means basically the article element must have a margin bottom of 2 rem, so that when we bring the other articles, it will create that space. So to justify that, I could copy this article right now and multiply it like 3 times, and we get it. We get that. So at this point, we could say we've achieved the same layout when it comes to the articles. So if I increase the size of the title, let's assume I make something like this, what happens? So this is something we need to look at very well, because some articles can really have a lot of text. So some articles can have long titles. So this even shows me that I have an error. Instead of article, I wrote something. So what can we do to fix that problem? There are many approaches in solving these kind of issues. The first one is to limit the number of characters that will fit in the title, or the number of characters a title can have. So this limits the user from going beyond a certain number of words for their title. Or we could just allow people to enter any title they want, but at our end here, we just cut the text once it goes beyond a certain size. So I think that's what we could do. But for now, let's jump that aspect, and we'll try our best to keep the titles short. Or in the worst scenario, we'll reduce the font size for the titles. So we can now go ahead and try to start our our pagination, then the footer. So for the pagination, I will give the nav class we'll give it a class of pagination, and here we'll keep it simple. So we'll say pagination. So for the pagination class, we'll tackle the UL straight. For the UL, we want to remove the margins and paddings like this. And then for the li, we would also want to remove the padding and margins, and then the list star type to none. Great. And also I would like to color the links, so the links have some color, but before that let's display them. So that's here, we display them as flex so that they go on the same line. And then I would also like to margin, not only I'll do that, I'll also do auto to see if I can get it aligned. But in that case I will have to reduce the weight, so by saying max weight, let's say 50%. Good. This didn't align it well, so I'll have to check what happened. Okay, it aligned the whole element. So if I add text align center, what do I get? Of course it won't do that. So okay, let me ignore that aspect for now. Let me just make them visible. So if I have this, so there is li is display them as block. Then I can give them some padding, 0.4 rem left and right, and then their color should become white. Great. So text decoration, none. Okay, great. So I would like them to come at the middle. So I tried text align and that didn't go. If, of course, because the element is displayed at flex, so it's possible. So to make it that way, I think I'll have to use align items. That should be align content. Align content. I think is justify content center. Oh my goodness. Justify content center. Okay, so now at this point we are good. So we can go ahead and look at the footer and text align. That's what we need to do, the center, to have it at the middle. And also because of the margin we have under the main, so that it pushed the copyright right down, which makes it look like it's hidden. So we can also give it some margin bottom of 1 rem so that it gets to scroll up a little bit. Let me rather say footer paragraph. Did that work? Increase and see. Okay. Yes, so we have our article and this looks great, but at this point we can see that our article's title is not clickable. So we need to make it clickable, if possible the image too. So to achieve that, I will take the title and put it in a link. Good, like this. So we can do the same thing for the other articles, since we are using the same title for now. Great. So then we also want to wrap the image in a link. So let's see what that gives us. Good. So we can copy this, bring it here, and that here, and we are good. So with that, we will have it clickable. So I would like to add some utility classes here. So we did start a link here, so we'll give it color white. So what I will do is I will set a style for our links by default. So all the links by default, the text decoration should be none, and then the color by default should be, let's say what color will fit. We'll keep it white smoke. That's great. It doesn't look like a link. So what I will do, let me try. Blue would be too shiny, so let's say light blue. There are so many light colors, so light blue. Yes, this looks like something cool. Okay, so in addition to that, on the mouse over, so link over, and also link active, the color should be let's say light green. Good. That gives us a cool green on mouse over. Great. So at this point we have our website laid out, and this took longer than I expected. So it will help us to on the remaining pages, because we fixed so many problems that are going to be generalized on the other pages. So I think that's cool. So let's go on to the next episode and see what we got there.